The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Looking for a pair of shoes? Let's Up Stores has a wide range of selection for unisex footwear. We have the best quality of all brands at pocket-friendly prices, and we make deliveries countrywide. Just place your order or reach us on 0772 08 0090. You can also check up at Let's Up Stores on all our social media platforms. Let's Up, craft your own footprints.
Go to the church, though.
Tawali man, what's up?
Man, can you imagine people just dump everywhere? Someone drinks water and throws the bottle wherever.
Come on, Rogers. What else do you expect people to do with an empty bottle?
Simanya now, do you know that plastics take at least 450 years to decompose?
What? That's a long time.
Exactly. Because plastics are made out of a lightweight and flexible material that doesn't decompose easily. And plastics everywhere in the environment cause plastic pollution.
What is plastic pollution now?
It is the accumulation of plastic waste in the environment, like bottles, polythene bags, straws. All of these contribute to plastic pollution.
I have been using them without knowing their effect.
Yeah, a lot of people have. Plastics are a danger to the ecosystem, both on land and in water.
So how can we overcome this problem? Is there something we can do?
Oh yes, we can reduce by minimizing the use of plastics, reuse by repurposing them, or recycle by collecting and processing them into new products.
Everyone wants to change the world, but no one wants to change themselves for the world.
How about we change our habits for the world?
And it starts with me and you.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digitalk.
Hi Rogers, can I ask you something?
Shoot.
What does corruption mean?
Well, summarily, corruption is abuse of public power for personal gain or for the benefit of a group to which one owes allegiance. For example, when a public office is abused by an official accepting or soliciting a bribe. By the way, private people can be corrupt too, like bribing police officers to escape fines.
Okay. So exactly how does that concern me?
Well, do you pay taxes?
I guess yeah. What does that have to do with this?
Everything. Because those taxes you pay are supposed to facilitate services you use, like water, electricity, roads construction, medicines in hospitals, name it.
Okay, that is much bigger than I thought. But it can be stopped, right?
Well, yes it can, although it may not be as easy as it sounds. And here is the reason why. Corruption roots are grounded in our country's social, political, economic, bureaucratic traditions and policies.
So, what has kept it going this long? I mean, why don't we stop it?
Well, the main reason why it has been here for so long is because institutions are weak, either as a result of poorly defined ethical standards of public service, weak administrative and financial systems, or ineffective watchdog agencies.
What can we do to stop it?
At a national level, we must focus on strengthening the independence and effectiveness of public institutions that fight corruption. At a personal level, we must commit to never giving a bribe.
I promise I'll never give a bribe.
Well, that's a great decision you have made. Me and you now have to spread this message to all our friends. If we all do our part, corruption will be no more.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digitalk. The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Ennaku z'omwezi ziri 14 omwezi tuli mu gwa 8 omwaka 2023 mbaaniriza ku Mighty Drive toberawo buli lunaku kuva ku Mandi paka olunaku olwokutaano munnange essaawa zibeera 2 paka essaawa 4 ez'okumakya tobera ku The Alternative Uganda oba TikTok TV osobola ogendayo n'otusangayo omukwano no likinga no followinga discussions kubanga zibeera nnungi nnyo nga za mulamwa nga zikugattako tezikujjaako so so olunaku lwaleero nziza okuba nga ate mbakolera updates oba nga mbawa ku mawulire agabaddewo bamikwano gye mutaabadde mwe muba mwebase ffe nga tutambula nga tunoonya eggulire tujja tuli kutuuseeko manya ebigenda mu maaso mu nsi yo si kirungi kwekuumira mu butamanya kubanga ate munayo obutamanya tebukugattako bukujjako so kirungi nnyo okubanga onoonya okumanya noonya information weekungaanizeeko abantu abakugattako abatakujjaako buli lwolabanga ng'oli mu discussion naye nga tekugattako nga tasobola kugijjawo n'oginyumiza omuntu omulala mukwano eyo ekyo ekiguruupu oba emboozi eba tekugattako oyanguwangako n'obeera ng'ate ogivaamu olunaku lwakubiri ewiiki lino lwe tuba tuli mu ntandika ya wiiki nze nja kubakubiriza nnyo tibanaye mugende mukole emirimu tegikyalabika naye akaakabiibibi k'oba ofunye at the end of the month kajja kuwaayo akasente so kiba kirungi nnyo n'ogenda n'okakola than okutuula ewaka bw'onootuula ewaka ng'olinda ate omulimu gwe wasomerera kijja kuba kizibu nnyo kubanga emirimu mitono nnyo kubanga gavumenti yaffe tetupulaningira funa mirimu yadde nga tusoma emirimu egibeera created annually tegimala baana abagraduating annually so olina okubanga either iwe job creator obanga ogenda kubanga ate okkiriza okubanga okola akalimu k'oba ofunye oba obwakirina oba obwa waitress oba okugenda n'ofumba bw'oba oyagala nnyo ofumba nga bw'olinda omulimu gwo gwe wasomerera gujja kujja kubanga documents tezivunda ojja kubanga munnange naawe ofuna kye wasomerera naye bwonga tonnakifuna ofuna ekiri available n'obeera ng'ate okola ekyo oyingizeko kasente osobole okwebeezaawo kubanga n'okusabiriza si kulungi kati ngenda straight mu mawulire gaffe ag'olunaku lwaleero eri side ya mikwano ne ba relatives ba eyali president oba former president wa Uganda late Idi Amin Dada munange eno babakanye n'olugendo olw'okubanga balongoosa erinnya lye nanti ffe buli ayogera ku linnya lya Idi Amin Dada tumanye nti oyo omusajja yali mutemu munange yali nga ta respecting human rights yali nga tocha tefuukidde tocha naye bano bagamba nti ate ono ebbanga lyamala ku bukulembeze ebyo byonna abaabimusiiga kubanga yali takkiriziganya na western world so ne batandika okola films ezimu ku zo nga munnange balagawo ekifaananyi eky'omukulu ono yali president wa Uganda anti munnange yali musajja mubi nnyo yali ta respecting human rights but this was because olw'ensonga nti munnayo yali takkiriziganya n'abasajja bali bakyeruppe era kinajjukirwa nti omusajja ono ye yatiika abayindi n'agamba naye muddeyo ewammwe naffe kuno okwaba obwe kuliko abaana baakwo abasobola okukola businesses ono yakwata obuyinza mu 1971 paka 1979 emyaka 8 ng'afuga ensi yattu Uganda era nno kinajjukirwa nti nno omukulu ono mu bbanga lye yamala ku ntebe teri munnange bazungu kye basiggamu kirungi yadde era ababaddeko ebwereyo bagamba nti bwogamba you are from Uganda agamba Idi Amin it is what they remember era ono baamuzannyamu firimu ze nnyingi okuli The Last King of Scotland enono yafuluma mu 2006 era nga bano balagira ddala basiigira ddala ekifaananyi ekibi eky'omukulu Idi Amin Dada ne firimu endala eyafuluma mu 1981 The Rise and Fall of Idi Amin Dada abakulu bano nga bebazizanya okulaba nti ate basiiga ekifaananyi ekibi ennyo eri omukulu naye famire ya late n'emikwano egimwagaliza bavuddeyo ne batandika okubanga ate balongoosa erinnya ly'omuntu waabwe bano no batandise ne memorial prayer egenda kubeera wali ku Masjid Noor mu Bombo town eruwere naku z'omwezi nga 18 kuno omwezi gwe tulimu gwennyini kitegeeza next Friday oba Friday ya week ejja prayer eyo egenda kubanga ate egenda mu maaso ate nno we banaavaawo waliyo memorial lecture egenda kubeerayo ng'ennaku z'omwezi 10 omwezi gw'omwenda era omwaka guno gwennyini gwe tulimu egenda kubeera wali ku Moni University mu Arua era nga omutesitesi Caps Fungaru akubiriza mmwe mwenna oba ayita mmwe mwenna abayina documents ku omukulu ono ezitali negative tibannange mugendeyo mumutuukirire musobole okubanga ate mulongooseza wamu ate erinnya ly'omukulu Idi Amin Dada. Era bano bavudde ne bategeezaako nti baagala n'okutandika talks. They are going to spark talks lwaki ate omubiri oba ebisigalirwa by'omukulu ono tebinakomezebwawo Uganda as it is a ritual here nti ne bw'oba ofiiridde ebweru omubiri gwo gukomezebwawo ne guweebwa decent burial naye ate omubiri gwa Idi Amin Dada tegukomezebwangawo okuva lwe yafa. So nno bano bagamba baagala kubanga ate batandika enteekateeka basobole okulaba nga omubiri guno bagujja e Saudi Arabia bagukomyewo okwabwe abantu be bamuziikeko. So nno ngenda kuvaako awo ngendeko sides eri Soroti omukulu first son yasudde mu ddene n'agendako sayidi eyo okulabako abantu beeyo. Era ono mu ssanyu eringi yawandiise check ey'obukadde 240 n'agiwa sako eya sub-county eyakoyena sub-county mu Soroti. Era ono nga mu kugenda yayaniziddwa omukulu speaker wa parliament omukyala Honorable Anita Among ne deputy speaker Thomas Tayebwa. Bano nno n'aba MPs abamu ababadde bakyali eyo nga babadde bakyajaganya ennyumba ya Anita Among nabo babaddewo ku ssomero eryamanyikiddwa nga erya Kunguga Primary School ne baaniriza first son. Abantu beeyiye mu bungi, hundreds of people beeyiye ku kasaawo ako nga baaniriza first son ate nga presidential advisor owa Uganda eno. Era ono yaweereddwa symbols of power sides eyo nga bamugamba nti mukwano tukukkiririzaamu era wino osobola okufuga Uganda eno. Ono bw'avaawo asuubirwa okuba nga agendako e Soroti City gy'agenda okuba nga ate alina meetings nnyingi era ate agenda kumaliriza ne match football match egenda okubeerayo. Awo nno ndowooza asimbule akomewo e Kampala. Eyo nno nga tuvuddeyo ke Soroti tugenda kudda wano ewaffe mu Kampala mu Central Region. Ba borders bangi bali mu kuluzinga epiki zaabwe eri loans ze babadde tebasavisinga. Abakulu bano ababadde abasinga nga bafuna epiki zino okuva mu Togende Sako abasinga mumwe muzimanyi era epiki zino zibeerako ekigambo Togende. Era bano bavuddeyo ne bategeeza nti babadde tebasasula loans era nga omuyiggo gwatandise dda okubanga bagibwako piki zino yadde ng'obadde wasasulako kwota oba hafu nga looni yakulemerera munaye bakuggyako epiki ne bagitunza omuntu omulala. Kino ono kyaddiridde okubanga ate omuntu finance watogende ali sides eri mu US atandise okubanga abasaba sente ze yateekamu eziwerera ddala $5.5 million. Obwono obuwumbi bubeeranga 18 obwa Uganda. So bano nno nga tebalina wakujja sente zino kwe kugamba nti ate munnange abatwala ebyaffe ne batasasula kwe kubajjako epiki. Yadde nga chairman w'epiki mu Kampala chairman w'aba borders yavuddeyo n'ategeeza nti sigamba nti abantu bano tebafuna sente naye obuzibu tebaagala kusasula. Abamu bakola sente ate sente ne baziteeka mu betting. Oyita ku betting awali betting centers nga borders parkings zijjudde ng'oyinza olowooza waliwo oba musomo ki naye abakulu bano babagamba okusasula sente ate tebasasula. Era yagambye nti kyekiviiriddeko okubanga ate epiki zaabwe bazisika naye singa baba bamalirivu esente zo bazikola ezisobola okubanga ate zisasula loans zino. Era nga esente zino omukulu zabanja kampani ya Togende zagibwayo Togende eya Kenya era nga ate yo Uganda yafunako ku bilioni 18 yo Uganda yafunako bilioni 7 gokka naye nga ate ebbanja lino balisasulira wamu. Teri kugamba nti ate ffe twafuna ntono oba nnyingi kubanga kampani yemu ensi ze zikyuka. So nno tukubiriza aba boda nga tonnagula kanyama kalya. Manyi mwagala nnyo aba boda mu abasinga okulya obulungi e Kampala wano n'olya ku makya n'olya emisana wowe essaawa 10 ssaawa 1 ey'ekiro banaye nga tonnatandika kulya bwotyo akasente ka looni genda okasasuleyo osobole okubanga ate osigaza income daily income ebeera nnungi nnyo okusinga bwe banaakusikako epiki ng'ate obadde wasasulako akasente kugenda okumala okumala ebbanga ng'ate obanja abamu nno tebakazza nanti endagaano baziba sayiningisa temuzisomye nti wezente ezinnemanga sibanjanga naawe n'oteekako omukono kakati nno nga tonnatuuka kufiirwa ssente n'eppiki gye wajjayo nga tonnamalayo looni nkukubiriza va mu betting teriyo yajja mu bugagga nze nsaba mundage ayina ekizimbe mu Kampala mbu esente yazikuba mu betting bwe kiba tekiriimu nkukubiriza nnyo eva ku betting genda okole ssente osaviisinga looni yo kakati ku ennaku z'omwezi nga 16 omwezi oguwedde Ministry of Health yavaayo negamba nti kati abapoliisi basobola okuvaayo ne bazzaawo ekikwekweto ky'akawunyemu kubanga COVID yakendera so chances ez'okuba nti abantu bafuna COVID ziri wansi nnyo ziri very minimal yadde nga poliisi yavuddeyo negamba nti bo tebali ready kubanga bateking up operations zino olw'ensonga nti bu machines bwe bakola obwakawunyemu bubeera nga buteekeddwako emimwa mingi nnyo era omukulu Mr. Nwabain Lawrence onono nga acting director wa traffic and roads Authority yavudde n'agamba nti ekikwekweto kino tebalirwedde kukitandika olw'emigozoobanyo ezikirimu emingi nnyo yadde nga accidents ku makubo nazo zeeyongedde olw'ensonga nti abantu bavugisa kimama oba abamu bavuga nga batamidde omwaka oguwedde ogwa 2022 twafuna accidents eziwerera ddala 2,394 mu zo 3,991 zaali fatal accidents bagamba fatal ziba zaatwala obulamu ate 1,776 zaali serious accidents bwe tugamba serious accidents kitegeeza nti ebisago byali by'amaanyi ate 5,717 zaali minor accidents nti ofunye accident naye tokoseddwa nga emmotoka yo yeyeetaagamu just okugombolola munnange nno awo ng'omanya nti tafunye bulamu naye nga bagamba fatal accident omanya zaatutte obulamu serious accidents ziba zakoozinze serious injuries ku mubiri gw'omuntu obanga sinakindi emmotoka yaweddewo n'osigazaawo obulamu so nno tujja kukubiriza nnyo abantu abagobi b'ebidduka ku makubo tibannaye mubeere soba because okubeera soba kitaasa gwe ali mu kuvuga ekidduka ne munno ali mu kukozesa ekkubo era babakubiriza nnyo naddala ba drivers nti gwe munange buli lw'oyingire ekkubo ng'omanya nti you are the only sober driver on the road abasigaddewo gwe balabe nti munaye tebali soba tebamanyi kuvuga gwamanyi okuvuga ekyo kijja kubanga ate ekikutaasaako accidents ndaba akadde kantwala naro yavuddeyo nerangirira Karamoja ne Lango as the most fertile sub-regions mu Uganda waneeno era nno kino kiddagwe eri omulimi nti munnange onoonyawo okulimira bagambye Karamoja has the most fertile soils in Uganda neddirira Lango neddirira Western kati nno ne kuddako Central ne tusembyayo South East bano nno be basinga okuba n'ettaka eritaddako birime era omukulu yavuddeyo n'atutegeeza omukulu Fanuel Onguwa onono nga ye soil microbiologist yavuddeyo n'atutegeeza nti ettaka lino eri Karamoja ddungi nnyo okubanga ate olimako ne bw'otakozesa fertilizers ebirime byo bidda bulungi nnyo bwe tugamba Karamoja sub-region mutwaliramu Kotido mulimu Kabong mulimu Abi mulimu Moroto mulimu Napak districts ezetolodde awo so nno abantu beeyo katubakubirize nnyo okulima kubanga mulina ekyobugagga mu ngalo zammwe temulinda ate bantu balala kujja kutwala ttaka lyammwe nanti e Uganda kasita boogera kati nno nga abalina essente beesowolayo so before nga temunnawaayo ttaka eri ba investor bayinza okweyiwa sides eyo bamikwano mukozese ettaka lyammwe mulime musobole okubanga ate temukyakaabira bantu njala nti enjala etuluma ate nga mulina ettaka eriri most fertile okubanga ate eriddako ebirime. Ngenda kumaliriza neggulira ery'omukulu Pulezidenti Museveni owawa ne Uganda. Bano no babadde mu kafubo babadde mu closed meeting ne President wa Kenya omukulu Ruto ngera bano bye badiscussinzeeko tebavuddeyo ne babyanja naye ng'ebimu ku byo kyategeerekeseeko nti babadde boogera ku nsonga za security ne trade between the two countries. Kinajjukirwa nti omukulu President Ruto yavayo na closing oba naggala amata agava e Uganda okuyingira Kenya era ono na citing ensonga lwaki ya blockinze amata gano okuyingira mu nsi ye is because nti ye yagambye mu amata gano bagajja powdered milk bagajja mu nsi endala ne basooka bagayingize Uganda nega addinga value oba negateeka ku mutindo olwonno negayingire Kenya. Ono n'agamba nti obaagala kukozesa mukwano gwe ono ye President Museveni okulaba nga ateba trading mu nsi ye nga babawa amata agatali ku mutindo ye kyatakirizganyiza nakyo. Naye era kinajjukirwa nti mukulu nanyini Brookside Dairy ye nanyini mata gano agagambibwa agava mu Uganda ne gayingira Kenya era nga bali mu kakuubagano n'omukulu Ruto. Osanga ensonga edo yaddenga Mr. Frank tumwebaze yavuddeyo n'awakanya ebyayogeddwa President wa Kenya n'agamba nti ebyo byonna bya bulimba bo tebalina mata ge importinga kuva outside ate ne bagakolako value addition ate ne baga exportinga. Ono nga ye Minister wa Agriculture, Animal Industry ne Fisheries wa ne Uganda yagambye nti omukulu oyo yatuwaayirizamuko ebyo byo byayogera tebiriko mutwe n'amagulu bo tebabimanyi. Nonno kinajjukirwa nti Abitex n'omukulu Alien Skin bategeka ekivulu kyabwe ne bakkiriziganya ensimbi obukadde 10 buweebwe Alien Skin ng'ekivulu tekinnatuuka. Kakati Alien Skin yalaba obudde bugwayo nga tebannamuwa ssente ezo munnange neyeekusuula mu julume najjayo festival. Kakati n'atatunulamu oli sente zaateesemu ate era kigambibwa nti yali amusasuddeko emiliyoni 10 ng'alinda ate amaleyo emiliyoni 9. Kakati omukulu ono Abitex yasowenze Alien Skin ng'era amusaba amusasule obukadde 7 bwe yabadde ateesemu mu kutegeka Nkwacho Festival ate Alien Skin n'agiggalawo. Ng'amaliriza njagala okubeebaza okubanga mutukeereddeko ku Mighty Drive omukulu Rogers tuyahabwe n'abagenyi baffe babiri bagenda kubanga ate banyumyamu the relevance of the International Youth Day. Olowooza abavubuka olunaku luno lwo balumanyi nnyo bamanyi omugaso gwalwo munnange bw'obanga tomanyi weekuumire ku ntimbagano zaffe ku Mighty Drive ojja kubanga ate munnange okinnyonnyoka mugaso ki. Why should we be celebrating International Youth Day? Very good morning.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Looking for a pair of shoes? Les Up Stores has a wide range of selection for unisex footwear. We have the best quality of all brands at pocket-friendly prices and we make deliveries countrywide. Just place your order or reach us on 0772 08 0090. You can also check up at Les Up Stores on all our social media platforms. Les Up, craft your own footprints.
Go to the church,
Tawali man, what's up?
Man, can you imagine people just dump everywhere? Someone drinks water and throws the bottle wherever.
Come on, Rogers. What else do you expect people to do with an empty bottle?
Simanya now, do you know that plastics take at least 450 years to decompose?
What? That's a long time.
Exactly. Because plastics are made out of a lightweight and flexible material that doesn't decompose easily. And plastics everywhere in the environment cause plastic pollution.
What is plastic pollution now?
It is the accumulation of plastic waste in the environment, like bottles, polythene bags, straws. All of these contribute to plastic pollution.
I have been using them without knowing their effect.
Yeah, a lot of people have. Plastics are a danger to the ecosystem, both on land and in water.
So how can we overcome this problem? Is there something we can do?
Oh yes, we can reduce by minimizing the use of plastics, reuse by repurposing them, or recycle by collecting and processing them into new products.
Everyone wants to change the world, but no one wants to change themselves for the world.
How about we change our habits for the world?
And it starts with me and you.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digitalk.
Hi Rogers, can I ask you something?
Shoot.
What does corruption mean?
Well, summarily, corruption is abuse of public power for personal gain or for the benefit of a group to which one owes allegiance. For example, when a public office is abused by an official accepting or soliciting a bribe. By the way, private people can be corrupt too, like bribing police officers to escape fines.
Okay. So exactly how does that concern me?
Well, do you pay taxes?
I guess yeah. What does that have to do with this?
Everything. Because those taxes you pay are supposed to facilitate services you use, like water, electricity, roads construction, medicines in hospitals, name it.
Okay, that is much bigger than I thought. But it can be stopped, right?
Well, yes it can, although it may not be as easy as it sounds. And here is the reason why. Corruption roots are grounded in our country's social, political, economic, bureaucratic traditions and policies.
So, what has kept it going this long? I mean, why don't we stop it?
Well, the main reason why it has been here for so long is because institutions are weak, either as a result of poorly defined ethical standards of public service, weak administrative and financial systems, or ineffective watchdog agencies.
What can we do to stop it?
At a national level, we must focus on strengthening the independence and effectiveness of public institutions that fight corruption. At a personal level, we must commit to never giving a bribe.
I promise I'll never give a bribe.
Well, that's a great decision you have made. Me and you now have to spread this message to all our friends. If we all do our part, corruption will be no more.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digitalk. The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
It's me, it's us.
Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to today's edition of the Mighty Drive. My name is Rogers Toyawe, and it's a very great honor this morning to be here in a discussion that is very close to my heart and most importantly, the community that is sort of the majority. I learned a new thing last week, like a day before the International Youth Day, that we always say that the youth are the majority, 78%. Apparently, out of 78%, only 15 of that is what constitutes the youth, the other are children. But we always write on the 78, we are the majority, with this and that. So I haven't verified that, but someone I can think is reasonable had that statistic I'm about to verify, so maybe I'll find out from here. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this morning. We're going to be talking about the relevance of the International Youth Day. We do celebrate this every 12th August of every single year, and that has been happening since that was recognized in the 1999, I think, by the United Nations, and the celebration began in 2000. Now, the history could go differently behind, but I think the official recognition as far as the international body of the United Nations is concerned, that was or began in 2000. That's about 23 years ago. So this day, we want to understand, for that long, for the 2 decades now that it has existed, does it hold any relevance? Does it make any difference? Does it add anything on the community and the constituents of young people and the youth generally, worldwide? we want to understand. And the people we have this morning are young people, those who have been in some spaces, you can say, that are a bit participatory, and we want, of course, to ask and interrogate that. There's participation, actual participation, and there's tokenism, where they just involve youth as a sort of to tick off a box of inclusion, not necessarily because they are part of the participation process. So we want to understand some sort of this kind of stuff, and whether the spaces they have been a part of, they feel that they have constructively added to it. Do they feel they have represented the youth constituency very fully? And does it mean where we are is what we have, or is there better that we can get? And how do we get better if that is the case? So that is what we're going to be looking at. I'm going to invite them to say hello to you guys, just one or two things. Tell us, how was your International Youth Day? How did you celebrate it? And how are you generally? Please, I'll begin with you. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, viewers. Sadat Maseruka is my name. Yes, the youth coordinator for the ANT Youth League. Well, Central Region. So, Uganda will be celebrating the International Youth Day on the 18th, officially. But on the 12th, the International Youth Day was celebrated. As a person, I took the time to reflect on my efforts as a young person, what have I been able to do for my community. And as a party, I was able to at least write a journal article to ask myself the same question after the Youth Day celebrations. What lies beyond that? Mm-hmm. What is there after the pomp and the recognition around the world that the youth are celebrated, or they do exist? So I believe that this discussion is timely, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. And we have another gentleman. I'm not sure if he has been here before.
I've been here before.
Yes, okay.
I think this is my second time that I stay far from this place. But I'm called Atuheire Batenda. And I'm a political activist. I lead the youth of FDC in Kanungu. But whether these things are celebrated or not, I don't care, because there's nothing in them.
There's nothing in the celebration, recognition, or there's no effort to celebrate altogether?
First of all, a country that can't feed its children cannot celebrate its youthful, because children are stunted in Uganda. So you're telling me Youth Day. So you become a youth after being stunted, and you want me to celebrate that? We must, even women, even you, even men, generally we are a disenfranchised society. And because of that, I have nothing, like celebrate independence, yes, because someone who was white went away, someone black who acts more than even whites is in State House, so I celebrate that. I don't celebrate such things. We are actually working to break these things so that people celebrate what is celebratable.
What in your case is celebratable?
No, not in my case actually. I'm telling you that a third of our children are stunted. And yes, a third of our children are stunted.
I agree.
We lose about 500,000 children to malaria before the age of 5, every 5 years. The Kawanawos, the people who survive that, are our youth. And you think they will be powerful and they can even fight for their space? The answer is no. The ones who can fight for their space is me and Maseruka, maybe whose fathers have invested much. Unfortunately, our country does not invest in its children. The moment you don't do that, you don't have a youth to celebrate. You're only celebrating people, some special parents' achievements as your youth. It's not that people in this studio, whether it's a cameraman, you can imagine how much your father has invested in you and how much the country has invested in you. A country that can't look after its children has nothing to celebrate.
All right. So let's begin from there. You say there's absolutely no reason to celebrate this. And you do have a valid point. I am curious to understand. You said we should not celebrate this, we should celebrate the celebratable. What in this case is celebratable? The
celebratable is that I produce a child, whether I'm dead or alive, they are sure of their food and education. That's for me, that's number one. Before we go even into political parties or anything, whether I am alive or dead, because the country, every person is for the country. the first person to take care of is a child. They don't drink alcohol. They don't rent other things. All you need is secure their food and schooling. If you secure only that, you're sure that after 18, when they're 18 years, they are going to university, and you can pay them for them at university. And you're sure when they're 25, they are a working class person, whether unemployed or employed. But anyway, a person who has gone to school at that level, many times, you could call them unemployed, but they are somehow innovative, and they can put something for the country. Now, the moment people are earning something, they have a stake in the country, and therefore they can question their power, and they have audacity to say, what is our space? People discussing youth today, are you and me? Does the young guy in Chihi, where I come from, know about this day? Do they even know that 18th is when you guys are going to celebrate 12th August? You think they know? They do not know about it. It's like Valentine's Day. People in Kampala know Valentine's Day, but I doubt that my mother and father think about Valentine's Day. They had to think about it. So it's an elite space. The elites think or claim they're the young people of Uganda, but a young person in Uganda is uneducated, unable to read, dropped from primary 7, before primary 7 at the age of 12 or 13.
Let me ask you, Brian. What you're saying is right.
It is what is on the ground. You can read about it.
It is. That's why I'm agreeing. I wanted to compare now, 2023, with 50 years ago. What was the difference in that kind of space that you're talking about?
The difference was that there was no International Youth Day.
No, I want you to look at the achievements and not the achievements that we are where we are supposed to be, because that is a work in progress. I want you to tell me what is the difference between 50 years ago and today.
50 years ago we were better. Do you know why?
I want you to tell me the difference in how many youths, how many youths then knew that, for example, you gave, I'll use an example, Valentine's, not because it's very, very relevant, but knew that this and that happens and this and that happens, and compare it with today. And tell me the percentage between the people then who knew this kind of stuff and those who know today, and what is the difference?
When I know about you or anything about you, you must be influential in my life. These days are not influential in the young people's lives, wherever they are. And let's go slowly. When we got independence, both our president and prime minister, who had executive powers, we are below 40, all of them.
Yes.
Today, there's a project, and he's being called young, but the guy is about 50.
Almost 16. Oh, 50. Almost 50.
Yes. The guy is 50 and is the one they are calling young. Because, again, the word young is compared to Museveni's age. If Museveni becomes 80, the guys who are 60 will be called young.
Is that, again, just a little bit, is that to mean that there are no, because now what you're doing, you're pointing out one thing against a multitude of others that you overlook. When you look at generally the people.
I was with a woman who works with Bank of Uganda, I think, recently, or Minister of Finance. And she told me that they are giving money for youth to use in groups, and they're giving them between 10, I think, and 20 million. And they're giving it to between 5 to 15. So I asked her, how much did you, because these young people have children, how much do you pay for your child fees? And she told me she was paying 2 million somewhere, I don't know, in the school. And I said, okay, so you think the young person doesn't want their children to go to school like yours go to. So you think for them, let me tell you something. We can talk about these things in English, but the situation is dire. And wanting to compare two Pijimis on who is tall and who is short, the truth is that all of them are short.
Okay. So that's,
Yes.
it does make a compelling foundation. But I also feel, I do not think, and this is my opinion, that the celebration of these days is to say that we are better now. It is to recognize that there has been some sort of efforts, and much as we are not where we desire.
Actually, before he comes in, there are no efforts. because the youth budget of Uganda was cut from about $1 billion to $400 million for the whole year. So
The national youth council.
Well, yes.
the issue of celebrations of celebrating the International Youth Day is compelling. Whereas I agree with him that it is an illicit affair, which it should not be, because the young people in this country must go beyond those that we saw on TV, those that at least have acquired a certain basic level of education. But again, it is worth celebrating the International Youth Day amidst all the challenges the youth face, the unemployment, the stuntation, the poverty. They are those that have at least been able to survive, and they are there to provide the beacon to the country. The issue why I say that there must be some relevance in the lives of the people in such celebrations, because it is on such events and on such international recognitions we realize or we bring out to the fore the challenges that a young person in Kanungu, a young person in Hoima can show to the country that now this is what the young person in Uganda is. Whereas you think that the ideal young person must be this, but at the moment we are having a young person that is married at the age of 14. We're having a young person that is started working at the age of 12. We have a young person that is working in the mine that has never been to school at all. So we cannot bring this to the fore. We cannot give this international recognition, not until we use the opportunities such as the International Day celebrations. The youth in Uganda have at all times not been able to enjoy what we call being youthful. This is because the comparisons that we are giving ourselves is to those that were there before us. You'll find that the current regime that has been here for a long period of time, they are basing or gauging the young people basing on what they were or what they are currently. For instance, if you say that the current president of Uganda is in 80 years, that means that whoever is below him is young. Below that age is young. Then you'll find that there is a section of people that believe that if you can only attain a certain level of success as a young person when you actually outside the youth bracket, because their space has been occupied for so long by those that are older than them. For instance, the ANT fronted a young gentleman at the age of 24 to contest as a mayor of Kampala. This gentleman, on nomination, he was asked really, we have the current Lord Mayor. We are having people that you are having the youngest CV here. Why don't you at least look for a smaller constituency? But if we claim that the young people at the moment have the capacity to support, to lead, and also create leadership amongst themselves, I believe I'm the right candidate. But already the atmosphere had been built that it is only those that are between 40, 50, or 60 that can be the mayors of this country. This is because there is no space up for these people. So they continue compressing and pushing those that are below them, creating a barrage on the young people. So the relevance of the International Youth Day should and must be to show that there is some significant step that is being taken. But at an international level, the benchmark they give a young person is not what we are having in Uganda. In Uganda, we are having people that actually do not know that there exists such a day. And what is the importance of this day in their lives? It is time that we also use this day to showcase that whereas youth are celebrated internationally, here hours are killed by the police. Here hours are not allowed to assemble. Here young people do not, very few reach the age of puberty. Here young people, very many die in the process of giving birth. So these are the things that should be at the fore while we are recognizing that, yes, there is an International Youth Day, to show that there is a lot that actually frustrates a young person, and the illicit behavior of celebrating International Youth Day should not be given the same semblance as that of Uganda.
So, in other words, what you're saying is the International Youth Day is and can be used as a platform to shed light on the challenges of young people.
Yes.
that is what you say as a foundation.
Yes.
Now, Brian, you said, and I want to agree with you to a very good extent, you do highlight very important things, because I also think that a community that cannot take care of their children might as well just not exist altogether, because that's the future of it.
They should die. Those communities die.
But again,
before that, because you see, for me, I've refused, and I'm part of people who have refused to discuss. Today we discuss youth, tomorrow we discuss women, tomorrow we discuss police brutality, tomorrow we discuss journalists, tomorrow we discuss eco activists. The other day was no. We must discuss this thing and finish it. And the thing is compact. Before discussing being a youth, are you respected as a citizen? Does your government and people do you enjoy rights of a citizen? Because discussing being youthful should be actually more citizenship. Because you're being pampered. Somehow they should pamper, because you're younger, you're still soft. So you must be pampered more than an average citizen to discuss International Youth Day. It's not it shouldn't be a struggle, no. It's about pampering children, women, youth, and minorities, because they are a minority, so you must help them to survive and maybe be at a level where they can do things. As a Ugandan, I don't feel I enjoy all my rights as a citizen. I fight for them every day, and people cannot fight for them, don't even enjoy any. I don't think that you can ask your question now.
No,
that's what I feel. That's what I feel. You can ask your question.
I want to agree with you to an extent. You talked about pampering. And if you're being fair and honest, I am one person who does not think there should be pampering.
No, there shouldn't be pampering.
I don't agree with that one as an individual.
But you see, I am a scientist. Don't tell about a simple thing about, you know the Uganda cobs move in herds. There are always many. You think, you know how they move? The weakest, the youngest, and the weakest.
In the middle.
In the middle, the strongest make the circle around them. If the lion comes, and the lion cannot attack a herd of them, it attacks a single one.
The weakest, usually.
The weakest, which has been left behind. But they try always to move with all of them. But in the middle, that's International Youth Day. They're not saying you're part of the herd. You're still useful, you can move. But you're not yet able to be the one outside the herd and protecting it. Maybe. That's not pampering. That's survival instinct of animals, plants, and human beings have failed to copy from cobs.
Let me ask you. And just basic and not even...
That's very basic. The science I'm saying is basic science.
I understand.
Otherwise, I would go into a drop and say what, but I'm telling you, the basic science is that one. And that science, human beings are performing poorly compared to cows, goats in Uganda, and now even cobs. Because when the goat produces, it will make sure its kid is dry, because they are always wet, and uses its tongue. It's a struggle. And I think actually kids of goats survive more than human beings in Uganda before the age of 1. I think because I don't remember us losing a goat because it had produced. We lost maybe one, but kids survive. I think goats kids are surviving more than Ugandan kids because our systems are wrong, and goats are somehow animals, so they can live on nature. So that discussion is very hard because it should be the other way around, not goats surviving and you can't survive.
That's true. That's true. But again, I wanted to get your perspective on. Generally, you have a perspective that an International Youth Day is literally just a waste of time.
No. Because the elites who are in National Youth Council, who are National Youth MPs, are going to make money out of the budget.
You see, that's the problem, Brian.
I know.
That's
what can happen.
Can you just give me a minute? That's the problem, Brian. There are two things I sort of don't agree with you. It is the fact that feeling that whatever there is, it should be given to me. You do not just get entitled to things, you have to work for them. That's a fact. And that's the reason why young people have stayed behind, because they expect a red carpet to walk on. Now, let me ask you, you go to a university, and I do understand that we have a flawed system because it trains you theoretically, it gives you no experience for the field. And when you get out, obviously, even if it was me who owns an industry or a factory, I would not hire someone without experience because I want mine to grow.
You can answer the other question, but that one first. I think you have been corrupted by these people of mindset change, skilling. At a university, you don't learn how to make a chair. You make the theory behind making a chair.
That's true.
And if I wanted to make a chair, I go to technical school. So don't tell me that I must get skiing from the university. I must be intellectually sharp. I must be sharpened intellectually at the university. Not how factory for what? I must be the manager of the factory and the theory behind making a chair.
And he's actually right. We are sending people to get a different skill set and expect them to perform differently.
Yes.
Okay. let me first ask the two of you. And I did not literally mean that a skill about making a chair should be the primary goal. What I am trying to say is that the system is primarily theoretical. It gives you no experience. And when the job market doesn't care about your theory, you can speak and sit and speak everything, how a chair is made from beginning to wherever it's done, or where you can even export it. But if you can't make the chair, you use it.
No, the system should be that it must train those who make chairs and those who know the theory, and all of them must fit into the system. The problem is we are made to be like some people should never go to university because they don't qualify. Should go to technical schools. Others should go to mechanical schools, but also they are very sharp guys. I could mention 2 or 4 who are of my generation, whom I thought they were the ones who should, some of us should have gone to university. We could have performed better in other places. But the only way you're going to survive is claiming have a degree. Whether it's from a rubbish pit, but have it. And when I have it, I can't perform with it, you want to blame me. But the system has told me I must have a degree, just go and have it. And I've gotten it. And now I'm saying, you guys told me to have a degree. What do I do now with it? I'm stuck with it. But there are kids who have gone to YMCA and cook better. And their fathers are rich, and I know them, because the kids were stubborn. Now, the kids were stubborn, and they forced their father to say, no, I don't want to go to Makere. I want to be a fashion designer by force. The other day, Honorable Museveni was on TV saying his daughter, I think, went to school, I think, in Scandinavian countries, and went a cooking school. You get? Now that kid can easily go to Serena and manage it, and you'll go to Serena, you'll taste the food, you know that this is Serena food. That's managing. That's knowing what education is. Education isn't about having a PhD. It's about learning skills on how to survive. And that one is not being inculcated in our population.
But you're the same person who's saying some people should just not have certain skills.
Yes.
So
yes. What I'm saying is, please, my country must measure my capabilities and say, you go here, you go here. Like in the military, you go there, there's infantry, there is people who fly in air, there are people who use the tanks, and they are trained differently because of their skills. When you're coming, you come as a group. But then you're able to say, this kid can play football, agende pora in academy. This kid is too good in cooking, agende a chef. Nobody's doing that us. By the way, we are surviving on our own. I'm saying we are on our own.
The issue in most cases, some people are in wrong positions, not issues of their or not doing jobs of their passion because they are fulfilling some legacies of their parents.
That's true.
You'll find that also the demonization of vocational and training institutes. We will find that the only person in Uganda they consider to have been learned or to have gone to school is one that holds a degree. So one wants to have a degree not for the sake of using it somewhere, but for the sake of having that prestige in society, for fulfillment.
For the status.
Yes. Now, the issue is, the most important skill is learned in a vocational and a training institute. People that go to university actually are the few that want to actualize what they are, to theorize what they can do, what they are doing in practice. Yes. But here you'll find that by the time a person is done with the secondary level, they are either going to be pushed into a university. Two, one, because the parent believe that for me, I must have a doctor. For me, I must have a lawyer. So the parent will forcefully take the child to pursue a career path that they actually is not in their passion. You will find that there are those that were actually talented from day one, but because of their engagements in school, they have actually lost touch with their natural talents. They are no longer athletes, they are no longer footballers, they are no longer musicians. But in actual sense, a musician that has acquired a diploma in music, dance, and drama is far better than a degree holder in earning, because she or he is doing what they are actually talented to do, and they're actually getting hands-on skills on that very aspect. It is mostly about the system. The system must always be checking itself. That whereas we are pushing in so many people to acquire degrees from so many universities, what is the relevance of these degrees? What is and also to relieve the societal pressure, because you'll find that somebody is taken to IMC as a punishment, not as an opportunity to learn a skill that will enable them to survive in life, but because others are going to university, but because that one has been a bad behaving child, that person should now go to a vocational training as a form of punishment. You see, and in that regard, that person will feel that, for me, I'm not liked or loved, yet it is that person that is actually going to be more important in transforming this country. But the theoretical part must be there. That's why I'm saying that when you demand something else from a university graduate, at the university is theoretical, because you go there to actualize the skills that are taught in institutes. That's why you find that a PhD holder cannot even make a safety pin. But a person that is in Chiseka, that has never seen school, can actually ferment metal. But do you believe that that person has seen more books than the university professor? No, but the professor can tell you how to make that pin. The person that actually makes that pin is the one that went to a technical institute, that went to a mechanical school. So when we are looking at the young people, we should in all aspects believe that the engineering of society must change. In the colonial times, they needed administrators, people that will run the administration when they are leaving. So we needed more people to have degrees, more people to speak more English and the likes. At the moment, we need people that are going to run the industries, people that are going to create jobs, people that are going to be running entrepreneurship projects. In this regard, we need people that are in bakery, we need people that are in manufacturing, we need people that are in engineering. These are skills gotten at the vocational level. No need of spending more money or a lot of money at the university. The university is important to a person that already has that skill, that is in the level of self-actualization. I also want to talk about the issue of the National Youth Council. We're having a council of sort that is more of something that we call illicit, and it's something that is a money siphoning group. This, for me, I wasn't bothered that the budget of the National Youth Council was cut. What was it doing in the first place?
Can I tell you an interesting thing?
Yes.
When we were at the National Youth Parliament last week,
yes,
on Friday, that was one of the motions.
Yes.
And the motions was on whether a government, well, of course, the question of increasing and reducing the spending of the National Youth Council, but also whether the youth should be included, I think, in the process of getting the money and all of that, and how do they influence. And the motion was literally refused.
True, because I believe that I should not be a member of every platform to benefit from those services. You see, I should not be connected to a doctor to receive fair medical services. I believe that whoever is there will be serving the interest of all Ugandans. So that it doesn't mean that the youth should sit at all platforms so that substantive budgeting and youth-friendly budgets must be made. There must be people competent realizing that there is a certain section of minorities that must receive a service. And this is the budget that is sufficient to perform. Also, wait,
just a bit, for clarity's sake.
Yes.
You say that there not need to be a youth in every space for them to be catered for.
Yes.
And
because
just a case in point, for us to get this whole picture, if, for example, you are a leader, and suddenly you have like elder people in your community who might have their different issues and whatever, do you feel you'd be in a good place to whether legislate or represent them?
Yes. This is because I will take it to the right to the issue of the rights. If we start stating that every minority must be represented based on their interests, and it's only them that understand their issues, you'll find that even the minute of the marginalized will need a voice or to be represented. I actually believe that catering for everybody must be a system, not that there must be an individual that looks like me to represent me. I believe that an elderly person. I seen a minister of youth in a certain country is not a youth.
Even ours, if you see.
But the young people are not complaining because it is not a face of the person that is representing them. It is the services that we receive from that office. That's the kind of mindset we should have. Because if we claim that it is only the youth that will understand the issues of the youth, in most cases you will find that the women are also claiming the same, yet they are represented by women. But they also claim that the women that are representing us are not doing us a service. It's because the competency levels have been reduced to figures. That because we have elected a youth, therefore the issues of the young people have been catered for. You have already solved the problem of that specific individual. There must be systems that actually identify, support, and re-energize all the young people with or without a representative that looks like them. You want to mean that in this country we are short of intelligent people that do not know that the young people need ABCD services. Whereas I also agree that in most cases, for instance, I was on the issue of the National Youth Council. You cannot budget and give the young people a budget that has no return on investment. What is the purpose? What is the justification of the previous 1 billion? And so that has been given to the National Youth Council before the deduction to the 400 million. If that can be provided for, how many young people's lives have been transformed with that budget? How many scholarships have been gotten out of that 1 billion? You will find that that money has been siphoned through workshops, trips, and other travels. So why should a young person that is a border rider feel proud that they have a National Youth Council? Why should a young person that is in school feel that, yes, if I have an issue, I will present it to the National Youth Council? So I find that the Ugandan National Youth Council in particular, there needs to be some checks on whether we actually need a National Youth Council or not.
That's very interesting. Brian, you did talk about education, and I had a particular interest because that sort of lays the foundation for everything else, and what youths become or contribute in society altogether. And to propose some solutions, what do you think that government and the education in particular can do to empower and prepare youths for being the leaders and the change makers that you want to be? Again,
the difference between me and you. Do you have a government?
Yeah, we do have a government.
Where is it?
Here in Uganda. You have government is you and me.
What does it do?
The problem with the people of Uganda is that you see government is a building or government is a certain individual. Government is me and you.
Do you know that we don't have a constitution?
We do have a constitution.
You're sure?
Yes, I am.
Who makes it?
Ugandans made it, 1995. There was a whole community of people who did it.
Okay.
It was a committee.
Is it still the same?
Well, that's another discussion.
Do you know that your constitution is like a notebook of Mr. Museveni? He can come and say, Chino chivemu. He can get a pen, and like you have your notebook there, you can look at the names there, Atuheire Batenda, Sadat, who, normally to him and say, Senda Kumoita.
You put here.
So you want me to talk about that constitution, and because government is out of the constitution, right? And out of laws and rules and articles, and that's how government is. Government is formed on a basis of people who agree how they should be governed. I think that's the constitution.
Yeah, it's a foundation.
It's the foundation of everything. Now, the moment the constitution can be the one you made in 1995 said a president will be president for 5 years, for 2 terms, each term 5 years. I don't think it's still there. The one you made in 1995 said somebody cannot be president beyond the age of 75. Someone is president at the age of 78. The one you made is that the army must be non-partisan. Yesterday, who is a general and in the army, was in Soroti, being welcomed, greeted, kissed on the feet by your MPs who make the laws. The speaker was seated this side, the speaker this side. He was the president.
Let me ask one thing, Brad, just a little bit, if you could allow me. Now, that is true. Whatever you're saying is true. And that is, let me tell you why I said a government is the people themselves. Do you blame, for example, a president or the non-availability of a certain constitution clause to saying that the MPs are kissing the feet of a particular individual?
The people must...
Is it now the problem of one individual, or you, the community, have decided to be as they have made you?
No, I want to blame the victims.
Victims of what?
Because victims of oppression. Victims of oppression for so long. What happened there in Soroti? If I went to if I went to Kanungu to do it, would be shot at.
That's true.
And you want to blame me, who is shot at with people organized?
Why would you want to do the same thing?
Not the same thing.